Comic books can teach you a lot. It's Sweet Talkin' Time with Sweet Dan and Comic Book Man.
It does not compute.
Dan Sweet's going to review Marvel's Age of X Alpha. Back up. Give the man some room.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
Sweet Talking with Sweet Dan, Sweet and Comic Book Man, coming to you from Comic Book Man's video outhouse in the middle of Alternate Reality Incorporated on the corner of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood.
Alternate Reality. Your all new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone, including all my Marvel comics, including Age of X Alpha #1. Now, this is a one-shot that shipped a week or so ago, our time.
A week or so ago,
More or less our time.
A million years ago, your time.
And this kicks off the Age of X event, which is about to happen, actually, which has started already with this, in the mutant end of the Marvel Universe. For those of you who remember Age of X from the mid-90s...
Age of Apocalypse.
Or Age of Apocalypse, I'm sorry. Age of Apocalypse was a storyline where all of a sudden the timeline just got changed like that in all the X books. An event happened in the X books. Charles Xavier's son... Legion killed Charles Xavier, and when that happened, boom!
Everything in the world.
Timeline changed.
Butterfly effect.
And it changed here on our Earth too, because all the comics were totally different.
It was a monumental thing for me as a kid.
It was. Wolverine became Weapon X, and
all the books were canceled.
Uncanny became Amazing, and
Uncanny became Astonishing.
Astonishing.
And X-Men became Amazing.
Okay.
X-Force, X-Factor, Excalibur, when it was still running. All these titles got changed around in such a dramatic fashion, and it was such a reimagining of the characters that, I mean, it really, I was a kid, I loved X-Men everything anyway, and then Joe Mad was illustrating Uncanny at the time, so I was anime nuts, and I didn't, really know the difference between a mega hyped event and just a really good story. So I thought Age of Apocalypse was this really great, colossal thing to drop in the X universe,
and it lasted for 4 issues, 4 months.
4 months
with a bunch of 4-issue miniseries, and a bunch of
a couple
specials.
2 issues, and a couple beginning and after bookend stories.
And then they fixed everything, and everything went back to normal.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I'm mentioning all this is because this series here is trying very hard to make you think it's the same thing, and it's not.
It's definitely camouflaged as such in a very good way, and it's not mimicking the Age of Apocalypse directly, but it definitely calls that memory back as soon as you take a look at it in a lot of ways, and in a lot of ways it's very different.
But if you're looking for that universe here, that is not this universe,
You're not gonna
but
find
it is strikingly similar to it. See, the great thing about Marvel is when you have 86,000 Earths, you can have Earths that are like shades of each other, and it's
sort of like
it's all good. It's all good.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah. I think it at least allows for boundless cretivity in one sense. It's if you're aping something, at least you're aping something different. You know what I mean? What you get here is a little bit different than how they kicked off the Age of Apocalypse, which was Age of Apocalypse X-Men Alpha, I believe.
Now this is a one-shot. This is just a one-shot that came out.
Yeah.
It's gonna branch off into the rest of not all the rest of the X books.
No,
some of the rest of the X books.
3 or 4.
This specific issue here, though, is not one story. It's
like 4 stories.
4 stories.
It's like 4 stories. The difference between this and the Age of Apocalypse event primarily is the storyline.
Okay.
The timeline of events, the way they're presented. You saw what happened at the end of whatever issue of X-Men when Legions, went to kill Magneto and accidentally killed Charles.
Right.
With this, you're just kind of thrust into this world, and not only are you thrust into this world, you're thrust into the end of the X-Men, the not X-Men's story. What it is it's a collective of mutants who have all gathered together under the guidance of who else but Magneto, who's the most, leadership.
Magnetic.
He has the magnetic personality. Damn it!
Sorry.
Damn it, Jeff! You're supposed to give me time to think of these things.
You're the writer.
It's not a speaker, obviously.
I'm here to help.
You're the writer.
This is all extemporaneous.
He's the camera guy. You're the writer.
I'll be in the bathroom.
Next week, this show, I'm the camera guy, and Jeff's reviewing comics.
Jeff, sit down here. You
He likes everything. Anyway, Magneto with his magnetic personality.
I'll edit all that out.
But I'm bump. Okay, and moving on.
Stepping on my lines. Anyway, all these X-Men, it's essentially the idea that human beings have feared and loathed mutants for so long that they've had such a
They really need to get
control.
over it.
Yeah,
But they won't.
In this instance, they've had such a dominant position over the mutants
Right.
for so long that the mutants have really just become little more than ramshackle bums, gypsy wanderers, and stuff like that. That's what they are. They wear loincloths, and for God's sake, in some instances, and so these X-Men are going to fight back. Of course, the big end of the movie,
And of course,
showdown.
they're fighting back for their freedom.
Freedom!
That was not planned at all. We didn't know that was going to happen.
No, of course not.
Not at all.
We don't do that.
So
Anyway.
they all sit around a campfire and share stories of persecution and dramatic.
Which is this issue?
Yes, this is the issue that introduces you to the world and gets out of the way some of the backstory for some of the characters.
And these are the stories they tell. One of the stories is Magneto. One of the stories is Cannonball and Husk.
Cannonball and Husk.
Two of them together.
Wolverine.
One of the stories is Wolverine.
And I'm gonna just lay it out there. You could put a big old spoiler warning.
alert.
Okay.
They take Wolverine off the board immediately. You're not gonna see him again. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, he's right there on the cover.
He's on the cover. No doubt they're gonna put him on the cover.
He's on the cover of Spider-Man.
But he is effectively taken not only off the board but out of the picture, out of the frame. He's gone.
And you have Cyclops, who is not Cyclops in
He
this.
is
His
Basilisk.
name is Basilisk.
And as with the Basilisk of lore,
Yes.
his stare is
Stuff that comes out of his eyes.
Get it.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
All the stories are
Got it.
adequately, done. One of them is illustrated by Carlo Barberi, and another one is illustrated by some other guy. Another one's Paco Diaz, and another one's some other guy. And they're all written by people.
I like the some other guy ones.
They're
Those
all
are the
written by
best ones.
people. And there's a framing sequence that's done by two other people.
Yeah.
Mike Carey being the most prominent writer, I think.
Okay.
I think the only writer.
Okay.
I didn't flip through this book before we started this one again. I
I
read
read
it a
help when
little
I shoot the
while.
pages. Who we talking
Prove
about?
me wrong.
So who else do we think is in the book?
I think Jeff Johns had
Uncle
something to do
Gus.
with
Oh
that.
God, you're kidding.
Jeff Johns he was on the last page.
No, he did. He's over at DC.
Joe Kubert inked the whole book.
Yeah. No. Anyway, so anyway, this book here
It's
is
interesting.
is interesting.
It's an interesting idea.
Is it this?
You got to give it time.
Okay.
You're thrust into the end of the story. You're not even given. I mean,
This is the beginning of the story.
This is background information, and the idea is you join these characters on the night they're all going to potentially die.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't give you a whole lot of time. In the next, I think it's like 6 issues. It's 2 issues of 3 different books. 2 of them being X-Men Legacy and 1 being New Mutants. I don't remember what the other one is. I don't care. I don't buy into that stuff.
So he won't be following those chapters.
No, I'm really honestly interested in it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna check this out beforehand. I wish they would have come with a stronger opening issue, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna turn a lot of people off. It's artistically inconsistent, and I'm not saying anything's poorly illustrated, but
Yeah.
it's such a bunch of different styles. It's written well, but in such a way as you're not presented with any current information that is pertinent to the story you're about to read.
Right.
I mean, sure, it's all pertinent to the story you're about to read, but not anything that really grabs a hold of you and says, okay, this is why I'm going to keep reading this.
Right.
It's just background information to let you know how these characters are similar but different from the X-Men you've always known.
One of the things that I mentioned in Week in Review for the week that this came out is this didn't sell all that well the week it came out. And the reason it didn't sell all that well the week it came out is because it came out the same week as Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
580. I cannot
Seven.
remember the issue number.
587.
587. And it was sort of overshadowed by that. This is the type of thing, and this is Marvel's marketing department. I think with Marvel, they come up with so many ideas, and I'm not all of them are great ideas, but they come up with so many ideas that they just throw them out there, and their attitude is, you'll find them and like them. And, you have to take a little bit more measured approach to releasing this stuff than, yeah, we got this X event, dump it out there the same week we have a big death in the Fantastic Four that we've been promoting the hell out of for the last 4 months. This sort of got overshadowed by this. If this had come out a week later or a week earlier, this probably would have sold better. but everybody's looking for the Fantastic Four issue, and they're not looking for this. So, and they didn't bother looking for it once they got the Fantastic Four one.
Well,
so there you go.
I mean, it's different corners of the Marvel Universe, but at the same time, think about it. This is a story that potentially has 7-8 parts with a beginning and an end and 6 main issues. Whereas, like, the upcoming Death of Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe has, like, 16 parts to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a much smaller series, a much smaller event, and it's all taking place inside the continuity of a regular issues.
But if you're going to have an event, all I'm saying is don't smash your events together and throw them out there and expect all of them to fly at exactly the same week. You've got a week-to-week shipping schedule. You're supposed to be using that to your advantage.
Quit jocking my swagger, I think Comic Book Man is trying to say.
There you go.
I think they still think comics are 35 cents a piece, that if you want to buy one, you buy them all.
Yes. Well, you know.
Well, because we all have money trees in
That's
our
right.
backyard for these $3.99, 22-page Marvels.
another-
God, I'm hoping to God you all do, yes. Otherwise, I'm out of work.
I
Buy
do.
multiple copies.
So that's it. So this is okay.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna check it out.
So okay, fine. So go to the store's website.
Why?
And read other reviews that are just as literate as this one.
And they're well thought out.
And well thought out too. And actually researched. And he actually reads the book.
For the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part.
And where's the store's website at?
It stood the test of time, but failed basic English. www.myalternatereality.com.
Stop off at the store's website and check out all of his reviews. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man
And this is Sweet Dan Sweet.
saying bye.
So
We
long.
say.
The 20th every month is Founders Day here at Alternate Reality, and on the 20th, you can save 20% off everything I've got in the store. All my comics, trade paperbacks, action figures, statues, posters, supplies, gaming stuff, everything is 20% off on the 20th, except for this week's shipping and my buy-in-bulk supplies, but everything else is 20% off. So stop on down to Alternate Reality on the 20th of every month and save yourself 20% off.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.